What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, 4 division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, Mikey Garcia. 40 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 30 big wins by way of knockout. Mikey Garcia is 33 years of age, stands at 5'6" with a 68-inch arm reach. The last time we saw Mikey Garcia in the ring was February of 2020 when he took on and defeated Jesse Vargas, unanimous decision victory. With that said, Mikey Garcia, he has his sights obviously set on much bigger fights. Mikey Garcia, he wants to become a 5-division world champion. Mikey Garcia, he attempted to do so when he attempted and called out undefeated, unified WBC, IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top 3 best pound for pound best fighters in the world, and Errol the True Spence Jr. And Errol Spence Jr., well, he beat Mikey Garcia essentially every single round in the fight. Errol Spence Jr. at 5'9.5". He's 2 years younger than Mikey Garcia, 72-inch arm reach, so he has a longer arm reach than Mikey Garcia. 4-inch arm reach advantage over Mikey Garcia. And he was a southpaw, but most people, they thought his size was going to be the difference in the fight. Errol Spence, that is. And they thought that because he was bigger and stronger, Mikey Garcia would struggle. But that was the furthest thing from the case, because it wasn't his size or his strength. It was his boxing ability, his high ring IQ, and his ability to control the pace of the fight and the distance in the fight. That's ultimately what cost Mikey Garcia the fight. Mikey Garcia, he's on record, and he stated that Errol Spence was always 2 steps ahead of me. He was much smarter than I initially thought. I saw a lot of similarities, but he's much better than what I initially thought. Well, Mikey Garcia, he dared to be great, attempted to become a 5-division world champion. Mikey Garcia, he said that he still wants to stay at welterweight. He still wants to become a 5-division world champion. But now there's a new major player in the division he once ruled, in the junior welterweight division, and he has his sights set on that guy now as well. He said it would be a huge lucrative fight. Now, Mikey Garcia is reportedly in negotiations with former IBF junior welterweight world champion superstar boxer Regis Rougarou Prograis. Okay, so it looks like Mikey Garcia is attempting to become to go back down to junior welterweight, but he has his sights set on a fight even bigger than Regis Prograis. We know Regis Prograis, he recently stated that he's not moving up from junior welterweight until he's a unified world champion at 140. So Mikey Garcia, this fight with Mikey Garcia, who's not the biggest guy, is going to be at 140. Okay? Now Mikey Garcia, again, has his sights set on a much bigger fish. This is no knock against Regis Prograis, but he says that a massive pay-per-view fight and showdown would be between himself, if they allowed it, and that is undefeated 3-division world champion, who's a 5-time world champion, superstar boxer, Gervonta Davis. 25 wins, no losses, no draws. 24 big wins by way of knockout. 26 years of age, stands at 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. And we recently saw him in the ring June of this year when he took on defeated WBA junior welterweight world champion Mexican star boxer Mario Barrios. He got an 11th round TKO victory. Mario Barrios much bigger than Gervonta Davis. So in this case, Mikey Garcia at 5'6", Gervonta Davis 5'5". He'll have an inch height advantage. Gervonta Davis arm reach 67. Mikey Garcia 68. Okay. Gervonta Davis is much younger than Mikey Garcia at 26, than Mikey Garcia being 32, 33 years of age, okay? But Mikey Garcia, he's been campaigning at these much bigger weights. And Mikey Garcia, he says he don't know if legendary retired Hall of Famer, iconic superstar boxer who's a promoter and CEO of Mayweather Promotions, that being none other than 50-0, the man known as Money, Floyd Money Mayweather, would allow Gervonta Davis in such a fight. Now, Mikey Garcia, he stated, Floyd Mayweather said he wanted to keep it in-house. Mikey Garcia is a network free agent, meaning that Mikey Garcia, he can fight on any network he so chooses, okay? And Mikey Garcia, he's eyeing this fight with Gervonta Davis. Now, again, Mikey Garcia, he stated he still wants to be a world champion in 5th division, okay? He wants history. He wants history to be on his side. He's already cemented as a Hall of Famer. He beat some very, very good fighters and great fighters. He beat Adrian Broner, Robert Easter. So he's beaten some very, very good opponents, okay? Mikey Garcia is nobody's walk in the park. He beat Robert Easter, Sergey Lipins, Adrian Broner, Dejan Zlatishian, okay? Roman Gonzalez, Juan Manuel Lopez, Orlando Salido, and the list goes on and on and on, okay? He fought and beat some very, very good fighters, okay? In which Mikey Garcia, he was an underdog in some of those fights, and he still came out on top. So with that said, this would make for a very interesting fight. The styles would clash. Mikey Garcia is a counterpuncher, but he's big and he's strong, okay? He's not, as when I say big, I'm not talking about in stature, okay? I'm talking about in actual size, okay? Mikey Garcia is only 5'6" with a 68-inch arm reach, but he's a bigger guy. He's used to campaigning at 147 now, okay? But he can come down to 140. But he's been campaigning at 140, okay? Mikey Garcia, 3 out of his last 5 fights before fighting Errol Spence was at 140 when he won the world title there, okay? So he's not the a little guy, as far as, the weight he carries around. Gervonta Davis, he only campaigned at junior welterweight one time, and that was, the time where, he just fought Mario Barrios. So, again, Floyd Mayweather stated that he wanted to keep Gervonta Davis' next fight in-house, okay? Mikey Garcia is the perfect pay-per-view fight. This is the fight that you can tell the fans and you can sell to the fans that when you say Gervonta Davis is an absolute pay-per-view star, he's a mega massive star, okay? Which I believe he is. I believe he has all the tools. Southpaw, he's exciting. Knockouts, 24 knockouts in 25 fights. He has personality, and so, he's very confident in his abilities, and he's a dog. So this would be the perfect fight to introduce the fans and the casual boxing fans to Gervonta Davis. You want to sell him as a pay-per-view star? This is the fight. Mario Barrios, not going to do it. Is a huge fight, but Gervonta Davis is carrying the fight, all the load himself. Leo Santa Cruz, 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, very well known in the hardcore boxing circle, but he's not a big major name that's going to sell. He's not Mikey Garcia, okay? And those are the 2 biggest names that Gervonta Davis has fought outside of Yuriorkis Gamboa, 3-division world champion, Olympic gold medalist, but once again, Yuriorkis Gamboa is not a household name. He's not a superstar. Mikey Garcia is a superstar. Mikey Garcia did a pay-per-view with Errol Spence, and he helped sell the fight. They did 350,000 pay-per-view buys. Now, in large part to Errol Spence, but that was the biggest pay-per-view buys that Errol Spence had in his career. So that means Mikey Garcia, he did play a part in selling those pay-per-views. So that means that Mikey Garcia, he's proven to be a bigger star than 2-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Sean Porter. He's proven to be a bigger star than 2-division world champion, former unified junior welterweight world champion superstar boxer Danny Swift Garcia, because he did, that being Errol Spence, he did 325,000 pay-per-view buys with Sean Porter, and a reported 310 to 315 pay-per-views with Danny Garcia. So that means that he's a bigger star. Mikey Garcia, 350,000 with Errol Spence. It's a bigger star, okay? And so you put, and he only has 1 loss, that being him daring to be great, going up to 147 and challenging Errol Spence. That's the only loss on his resume, okay? Mikey Garcia with 40 fights and 30 knockouts. He has more knockouts than Gervonta Davis has fights, and he only has 1 loss on his resume, and he's fought world champion and credible opponents. So if you want to make Gervonta Davis the superstar that you're telling the boxing world that he is, this is the fight to do it. Mikey Garcia is not a mismatch because they're similar in stature. Mikey Garcia has fought in lower weight classes. He's a world champion at 126, 130, 135, and 140. He's a 4-division world champion, okay? So he's fought at lower weight classes. Actually, He's fought at lower weight classes than Gervonta Davis. He never fought at 126. Gervonta Davis fought at 130. Okay, so this is a perfect fight to introduce Gervonta Davis as a pay-per-view star that they tell the world he is. And it's a competitive fight. It's a competitive fight. It's a 50-50 fight. There's going to be people that's going to pick Mikey Garcia to win this fight. When Gervonta Davis fought Mario Barrios, not too many people, if any, picked Mario Barrios to win the fight. Not hardcore boxing fans. When he fought Leo Santa Cruz, not too many people, if any, thought that Leo Santa Cruz was actually going to win the fight. Okay? When he fought Yuriorkis Gamboa, nobody thought that Yuriorkis Gamboa was going to win the fight. Okay? This is a fight that is a true 50-50 fight between Mikey Garcia and Gervonta Davis that the fans will truly not know who is going to win this fight. Mikey Garcia is a counterpuncher. Mikey Garcia has a granite chin. Mikey Garcia has a high ring IQ, power in both hands. Okay, Mikey Garcia has great timing. Okay, and he has a great jab, and those are all the intangibles that we've seen Gervonta Davis have issues with when it came to Leo Santa Cruz and Mario Barrios. Now I know you're going to say, well, he knocked those guys out. Yeah, well, those guys are not Mikey Garcia. Okay, they don't bring to the table what Mikey Garcia bring to the table. Errol Spence is a much bigger puncher and a much bigger guy than Gervonta Davis, and he didn't knock down or knock out Mikey Garcia. Okay, now granted, I believe that Errol Spence, he chose to fight in a boxing style manner because the boxing world said if it was a boxing match, Mikey Garcia was going to win. If it was a knockout, Errol Spence was going to win. So Errol Spence was doubted, and I think he wanted to prove a point in the fight. But with that said, you know, this would make for a huge fight. This would introduce truly Gervonta Davis as a pay-per-view star if he's able to beat Mikey Garcia. Now, again, the only guy to do it is when Mikey Garcia dared to be great and go up to 147. This is that's the only loss and blemish on his resume, okay, with 40 fights. So, with 41 fights in his career and 30 knockouts. This is the fight that you sell to the fans. This is the introduction to the superstardom that you say Gervonta Davis is. If you're Floyd Mayweather and Leonard Ellaby, this is the fight that you make happen. You say that undefeated British superstar boxer Josh Taylor, who's at junior welterweight, doesn't bring anything to the table as far as sales. Well, Mikey Garcia brings more to the table than even Gervonta Davis because he's done a 350,000 pay-per-view sales. So that speaks volumes. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. Mikey Garcia says this Regis Prograis fight is, you know, him attempting to go back down to junior welterweight, get acclimated to the division, and then he's going after Gervonta Davis. I want to see the fight. He said he'd love to see the fight. He would love to make the fight. Gervonta Davis is a great fighter, and he wants to make it happen. So let's see how this plays out and unfolds. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.